Hey guys, this is Alex.
And this is Drew.
And today on the Two Man Comic Book Club podcast, we're going to take a look at everything that was announced at the Disney investor meeting, including all the Marvel shows, the Star Wars shows, and maybe a few other goodies. Let's go. Sorry, even though I'm in airplane mode, I'm still getting friends texting me. How goes it, fellas?
Fantastic.
Yes, good.
It works.
It feels weird being after 50. Like, I feel like we kind of pushed hard all the way to the 50, the new year.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it is New Year's Eve.
Happy
New Year.
I was going to say Happy New Year to our listeners, but not to you two.
Right, yeah.
Because they'll have to wait for that.
After that. They'll hear this. What will the date be?
The 4th?
What is today?
Yeah,
Today,
the 4th.
Thursday?
I don't know.
Today is Thursday.
Time has lost all meaning.
Yeah.
Time
in
is
2020,
an illusion.
we lost time.
Yeah.
Amongst other things. This is a sad thing. We'll start out sad and it'll just get better as it goes on. Tori just announced that we lost MF Doom. For those of you that have no idea who that is, he's a rapper who partially scored his look off of Dr. Doom a little bit. If you don't like hip-hop, you probably won't enjoy it. So Drew is adjusting my microphone for me, my low energy.
No,
The solemnness of MF Doom going down. I will try to speak louder, sir.
that already feels better.
That's what she said. Anyway, so R.I.P. MF Doom. That was a lot of acronyms. But on a much brighter note, we are going to try to go in and discuss everything that was announced during the Disney investor meeting, which was like this 5-hour thing online that honestly was kind of poorly produced, scripted, put together. I don't even know what the logistics are behind that, but there were so many things that were announced where they were like, and now a first behind the scenes look at this awesome thing. And then it would just go,
I didn't watch it
we'll
live.
be right back. Like there would be no trailer.
I didn't watch it live. I just checked out the YouTube after the fact.
Yeah.
And there were like 2 significant trailers that all I got was like, we'll be back in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I was like, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, it seemed really weird because I don't know if there was like a second stream for the high end investors where they were seeing that stuff.
Where was
that doesn't
my
make
email?
sense at all.
Where was my invitation? I own 6 shares, Disney. Come on.
Have you looked to see how you're doing?
No, I haven't.
Oh, your stock shot up a lot after that meeting.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm going to go sell it all.
I'd probably still wait.
Make a few bucks.
Right.
Actually, I think the shares are relatively high to where I could buy something nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm a keeper.
Yeah. Never sell.
Never sell. Until somehow they've somehow gone through and deleted shares, and I have become the leading shareholder.
That'd be amazing.
Everybody else is gone, and I have 6 shares. So I am Disney.
Talking stocks with Alex and Drew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fascinating.
And this is the thing where you have to put in, we are not
experts.
We're not experts. This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
Do not do what we do. Unless that is read comics.
Speaking of what we do,
Yeah.
what you been reading, yo?
I've been reading a lot more Daredevil, the Chip Zdarsky series. It's really good. Small complaint. This isn't a big complaint, but a small one. The artist changed after the first 6 issues. And it's not bad at all, but it's, in my opinion, not as good as what we had before. I should probably look up who was actually doing the art before, but I was just really connected to it. It had like a certain realism to it. Not like, it wasn't like Alex Ross realism or anything like that, but let me see. I have it right here. Previous. Marco Cicchetto was who was doing it before, and then it switched at issue 6, I think, to Jay Leisten. It's not bad. I like it, but I definitely like Cicchetto stuff better. On top of that,
You like Cicchetto better?
I like Cicchetto better. Yeah, maybe that'll be a tag.
Yeah.
Cicchetto better.
Cicchetto better.
See? Also been reading more Iron Man. I'm so close to being able to actually read those floppies. Speaking of, I got some more that I'll have to go grab during the break to show our audience because they're in my bedroom right now. Got some more floppies in. Otherwise, not much though. Been busy. Haven't read as much as I should. I always think I'm gonna read tonight, and then I get in bed and I'm exhausted, and I just go to sleep. It'd be like that. What about you?
I finally dug into We Are Robin. I've only read a couple of them, but it's really cool. I like it, and every comic kind of reveals a little bit more of the world. For those of you who 51 might be the first episode you've ever listened to, we had a Christmas episode where we exchanged gifts, and Alex got me a couple of the trade paperback collections of We Are Robin, which I should know more about since I'm talking about, but I don't even know when it was from. Mm-hmm. But it's just a bunch of kids who are basically tag teaming as a gang of Robins, taking care of Gotham, and it's really interesting. So the art style, whenever I'm reading it, kind of makes me think of some of Miss Marvel.
Cool.
Kind of the more exaggerated,
slightly
cartoonish,
whimsical.
Yeah. But not even cartoonish. That's not right. But you know what I mean.
Right.
But it's good. I dig it. That's the only comic I've been reading, but it's good.
Cool.
I think it might be worth it at least digging into a little more at some point.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. Do you know if it's on DC?
I imagine it is.
Cool.
But I didn't. I meant to look it up before we started recording, and I neglected to.
For sure. Yeah, light reading week for you too, it sounds like. What about you, Tori? You been reading anything?
Yeah, I've been reading the set that y'all gave me, which is still really good.
Are you on the second one now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Almost done with the second one. I'm also reading My Life as a White Trash Zombie.
Wow. Is that a comic book or is that just a book?
It's a book.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell us something about that.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's really surprisingly has a lot of heart to it. It's really made me tear up a couple times. It's an interesting horror story.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like it. The title is definitely intriguing. My Life as a White Trash Zombie.
Yep.
Wow. You win. You win what you've been reading, yo.
I went ahead and looked it up. We Are Robin is available on
is all of it available?
DC Universe, at least as much as You Got Me.
Cool.
So it's from 2015. Written by Lee Barmajo. So
sweet.
It's really good.
Yeah, so...
And I guess since I mentioned the art, Jorge Corona, Rob Haynes, Carrie Randolph, inkers, same. And yeah, so it's good.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, I imagine we'll cover that one. It seems like a nice niche pocket within the DC universe, and we definitely need to catch up on doing some DC characters sooner than later. So that'll probably be on the list if you listen and you do want to get ahead and read some of those. We were also going to take the opportunity of the new year to do some comic book New Year's resolutions, things that we want to try and read over the new year. And that can be something short, but maybe even a bigger long-term goal. So I'll start with that. I definitely want to go back. I started this, but there is a Incredible Hulk run going on right now that is just absolutely killing it. And I started reading it and remember getting a few issues in and thinking, I need to stop right now because I'm not in a position where I can read this continuously and keep up, and this deserves to be. I knew from early on, this is special. So a ton of it is on Marvel Unlimited now. I think Al Ewing is doing the main. I think he's the writer for all of it, but they're on issue 39, which is pretty significant for a continuous comic book run. So definitely want to read that. I'm considering this is a tall order. We'll see if I actually do this. I'm considering going back and reading some of the major Marvel events again, just with the knowledge that I have now of all the characters. It's been a long... I mean, I've learned so much even since I read Secret Wars, I think I would view Secret Wars differently, just all the extra characters and knowledge that I have. Even stuff like Civil War. And I also really want to go read Secret Invasion in preparation for the TV show that's going to come out, because I think I've read elements of that, but definitely not all of it. Otherwise, hopefully going to try to keep up with some newer stuff too. Like I'm allowing myself to buy a few floppies every month just to support the writers and not just wait for the stuff to get back catalog. But that's for me. I think a little bit of old, a little bit of new, and some stuff that's...
Anything borrowed? Anything blue?
Yeah. My comic book marriage.
Blue Beetle?
Never read Blue Beetle.
I don't know. That's all I got for the joke.
What about you?
I mean, I already started it, but I kind of fell off the pace a little bit. But I'd like to get everything written or read in the Watchmen compendium, leading up to seeing how it gets there. I mean, I'm working on it, but it'll be a significant investment of time to read all the DC titles leading up to Doomsday Clock. But that's one of them. And I don't know, you've been trying to get me to read, is it Civil War or Civil War II?
Civil War II.
For a long time.
If you have not read Civil War, you should absolutely read it, though.
See, that's where it makes it tough.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
because they obviously are going to reference each other, like the last time this happened.
I think I'd like to at least dig into that.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, before Secret Wars, I would argue that was the last time. It was just this absolute major Marvel event.
Yeah.
There's obviously, I mean, every year it seems there's at least one big one, but not every one of them lands with as much gravitas as everything else does. So those are two really good ones that I would highly recommend.
One of my other, this is kind of counter to it, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more intentional with my comic book TV/movie viewing, and just like, because I just spent years watching the Arrowverse, and I got done with it, and I've kind of been enjoying not watching TV. So I'm trying to be better about, like, all right, I'm not just going to watch this random superhero show because I should. I'm going to make sure that it seems like it's something that is worth my time,
Right.
as opposed to just idly clicking through it.
Right. I also, unrelated to that, I want to go through. I have not seen the most recent seasons of all of the Marvel, Netflix Marvel shows.
Yeah, me
I've
either.
seen. There's 3 seasons of Daredevil, right? I'm
Who
pretty
knows?
sure there are.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I think I've seen the first 2.
Yeah,
Not
I
seen
think
the
I
last
did
one.
too. Yeah.
And I have not seen season. I think there's 2 of all the other ones: Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. I have not seen any of those. So that's a
You
lot of
haven't?
content. No.
Oh man, they're so good. There is 3 seasons.
Okay, 3 of Daredevil and 2 of everything else. Can you confirm that? I know it's a lot, but
Almost grabbed your Dr. Pepper to drink it.
you should have. I've really enjoyed all of it, even Iron Fist, which is the one that most people argue agree that seems to hit just a little bit below par with the rest of them. I enjoyed it well enough. I mean, it's a thing. It's not Aquaman.
Yeah. I keep meaning to go back and watch those, but that's another thing where, like, it's been so long, I feel like I need to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So that means basically 10 seasons of crap. Not crap. I didn't mean crap as if it's a crappy
It's
show.
stuff.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Like 10 seasons worth of things to watch.
Yeah.
That kind of goes against my intentional TV viewing. And by the way, I'm not just trying to be intentional about my superhero TV. It's just
TV
all
in
TV
general. Yeah.
and all movies. Like, and if I'm watching something, I want to watch it. Like when we watched Wonder Woman the other day, I was just like, I am not going to look at my phone. I want to be invested in this. I want to give the creators of this the time that they deserve, because everything else I watch, like, I'm not even paying attention. I'm just scrolling through
Right.
Twitter or Instagram and stuff, and I'm trying to be better about that.
Right. Did you find out if there were?
Jessica Jones has 3 seasons.
Oh.
The other ones have 2. I didn't realize that Jessica Jones had 3 seasons.
Yeah,
I don't think
I had no
saw
idea.
the 3rd one.
Well, that was arguably. I loved Daredevil, but she might have been my favorite one, at least of the first seasons that I saw.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah,
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah, absolutely great. And I think they're going to bring if not all of them, the majority of that Netflix crew into the Marvel universe.
I hope
There's
so.
always already heavy rumors now that Daredevil rights are back in the House of Mouse. That what's his name's coming back to? He's already in talks to be in a Spider-Man film. What is that actor's name?
Goofy?
No, guy that played Goofy did not play Daredevil, but that would be a show I would watch.
Yeah.
Goofy plays Daredevil.
I was trying to do a Goofy
yuck?
voice. Oh, there it is. I couldn't. It's been a
Charlie
while.
Cox.
Yes, Charlie Cox. Yeah,
Charlie Cox played Goofy?
yeah, that's what happened. I heard. I know we're getting off on our New Year's tangent, but I heard that he lost a role. Like he was auditioning for another big role after he did season 1 of Daredevil because he couldn't stop looking like he was playing a blind man. Like his eyes were like, he captures it well, at least from the uninitiated. I have no idea like how close he was, but I mean, to me, I was like, yeah, he looks like a blind guy. I realize how ridiculous it is to think that blind people would know what blind people look like. That seems wrong. So anyway, before I fall down a rabbit hole and get myself in trouble, it's going to be cool to see him if he gets to, especially interact with Tom Holland Spider-Man. Because if you don't know, Daredevil Spider-Man's a definite thing in comics. Tori, New Year's comic resolutions.
Whenever I first came onto the show, I had started reading the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Nice.
I never finished it. I forgot about it, but that is something that I do want to finish. I enjoyed what little I read.
Yeah.
And so
Does she fight Doctor Doom in that series? Or maybe it's a part that you haven't got to yet.
she's supposed to beat the whole Marvel universe. I don't know about in that
right.
series.
Yeah. She's a very niche, fun, quirky character that was rising in popularity, especially when like that post Secret Wars event stuff was going on.
People were suggesting Anna Kendrick as playing her.
That would be awesome. That would work.
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're close to getting like, a pretty fleshed out MCU. Just they're kind of like, okay, I think we've got everybody's trust. let's start doing all the weird stuff now. And I'm very curious to see if they're gonna have another Grand Slam with Eternals. I have the feeling about Eternals coming out that I did when
Eternals.
I thought you said the Turtles.
I did too. I was like, wait a minute. They're folding in the Ninja Turtles?
no Eternals. Yes. But I have the same feeling about Eternals right now that I did when I heard Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out. I was like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then they killed it, and it was awesome. And now they're some of the most popular characters. And the cast for Eternals is crazy awesome. I think it's going to be really good and push a lot of boundaries in a good way. Anything else I should add to mine? I want to also branch out and read more DC this year. I
want
so
to
in love
read
with Marvel. that
Less Marvel. I'm just kidding.
I need to read. I can't say
No, you
need to
can't
read
not.
less. I just
No,
need to
you don't.
bring DC up
It's
to
tough
par.
because, like, as soon as you start getting into events,
Yeah.
you're basically like, well, there goes a month.
Mm-hmm.
And unless all you're doing is reading like a smattering here, a smattering there, or somehow you get to the point where you can just be like, all right, let's read the new stuff this week.
Right.
I don't see how
Like actually get caught
people
up.
who are like aficionados in the comic thing, like if they're really aficionados, that it must be a full-time job.
Yeah. People that own
crazy.
comic stores, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when I was buying floppies regularly, it got to a point where I was spending, I had to stop. I was spending way too much money every single week. I bet I was spending over $200 a month on comic books,
Yeah.
like for real. Because every month it's like, you know how easy it is for when there's DC, Marvel, and Image and all these great books coming out. Every Wednesday,
Yeah.
new books. How easy it is to walk in and pick 10 that you like and go, yeah, just throw that in my box. I'll buy that next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember like every Wednesday I would leave and I'm like literally doing this. And I'm like, that was $60.
Yeah.
You know, it was a ton of comics. And eventually it was just like, okay, I could buy a pretty nice used car for the amount of money I'm spending on comic books.
It was like that. I eventually had to put myself on a budget for Magic cards.
Yeah.
Because when I got into it,
Right.
every time you go to the store and like, oh, I'll grab a booster pack, and you realize you spent $100 or more
Right.
for the last several weeks or the last several months. So I'm just like, all right, give myself $25 a month
Right.
because there's not a new set coming out, whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like if you can do it and you can justify it, do it. You're supporting the creators.
Yeah.
The industry's got to survive, But I was, and I'm still not, to where I can just feel good about spending that much money on comics every month.
For me, it also became a space issue because like I've been trying to declutter things and
Yeah.
I've got my one, like I don't have a ton of comics. I've got one banker's box filled to the brim with my comics from whenever. And then I've got some overflow that's like stacked on top. And that's not counting my trade paperback.
Right.
Those are on the bookshelves. But yeah, like it becomes a space issue and thinking someday I want to move away from my rent house that I'm in now. And the more comic books I buy, the more time it's going to take
Right.
whenever I can get them digitally, whether I buy them digitally or I get them from the websites. But
Yeah, it's a lot. Thank God for Marvel Unlimited and DC Ultimate, whatever, who's a name and something.
Dunder Mifflin
Comicsology.
Infinity.
Yeah. Dunder Mifflin Infinity. That's just called that from
Dunder
now on.
Mifflin Infinity comic book streaming service.
You
the
know, read
cure.
it on one of those, what do they call
Yeah,
them?
the triangle, the pyramid or
The
whatever.
pyramid.
Yeah, it's terrible for reading. You have to turn it sideways
From
and then
Saber?
it autocorrects. Yeah.
Saber.
Sabre.
Sabre.
I
Dunder
have
Mifflin.
no idea what you're talking about.
The Office reference.
I haven't watched all of The Office, so
Speaking of,
You have like
What
3
time is it?
hours, right?
you probably have till midnight to watch.
Watch it before
Everything
it's off
before
of
I know I'm
Please,
gonna,
Netflix.
I'm gonna let that slip away. There's no way I can. I stopped watching after Michael left.
No way. That's so you know who Robert California is?
I do. I caught some episodes
Okay.
after he left.
He's my
Ultron.
favorite character.
Yeah, that was what's his name?
I always do this. He played Ultron as well.
Yep. I can look it up,
Yeah,
but it's going to
on
damage
principle.
the synapse in my
Right.
brain if I do that.
We'll sit on it. Just scream it and interrupt us
I'll
whenever
just-
you think of his name. While we think about who that actor was, we're going to take a quick break and then jump into what you guys came here for. We'll be right back. And we're back. And we thought of it. / maybe cheated and looked it up. Tori, who was the guy that played...
Oh, James Spader.
Yes. So if anybody was screaming at us, go ahead and leave a comment that you were screaming at us. Actually, I hope you already left one.
Yeah.
James Spader, you idiots.
I hope James Spader leaves a comment. I'm like, I can't believe you call yourself a fan. You said I was your favorite character on The Office and you couldn't remember my name.
I hope somebody left a comment like that, except they were wrong. Danny DeVito, you fools.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, let's see him as MODOK in the
That
MCU.
would be good.
Yeah.
Who did we talk? Well, we talked about him being Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that would be hilarious.
He was perfectly cast as the Penguin, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's okay. People have been recast.
I don't know
Even
about...
within the same comics family. I mean, look at Chris Evans.
Yeah,
That's true. And Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
for sure. I heard rumors, by the way, that he's going to play Green Lantern again.
Is he really?
I heard rumors that in a Zack Snyder Justice League something that, I mean, I'm sure with the right writers that could have been awesome. So much of it I'm learning, and again, we'll get to what you actually came here for soon. This is our show. We're driving the bus here.
Yeah.
I'm learning just how
We get an hour in. We're like, sorry, guys. We'll get that next week.
right. We'll go back in after the first edit.
Yeah.
Anyway, how important the writers for a film are. Like, actually, this writing the script and writing the story, and not just the director. I mean, I always knew that. Like, there's a reason that they're there and actually writing the story and then, doing their job. But man, it can change the style and feel of something so drastically. I think we saw that, and we're not going to get into the details of this, but with the most recent Wonder Woman film, different writer in the writing room, at least one of the main writers, was different, and I've read a lot of articles that I tend to agree with now that definitely changed the flavor. Not necessarily bad, but a definitely different flavor. Anyway, we have a lot of stuff to cover, so we're going to jump right into it. at the Disney event, if you didn't know that this happened, this is a yearly thing that was especially different this year, where Disney tells their investors why they should continue to invest money into their company. And they basically announce all the new and exciting, juicy stuff that Disney owns, which is probably the house you're sitting in or the car you're in right now. In addition to all the Star Wars and Marvel stuff that they own, they also announced all these new Pixar stuff, animated films, Nat Geo, ESPN. I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole bunch of stuff. They own it all. But we're going to try to just hit bullet points and talk about the stuff we're the most excited about and speculate on a few things. Obviously, knowing that within reason, we'll probably wrap this thing up in the next half hour or so. So if there's something we missed or we didn't put as much weight onto, though, please tweet at us and let us know, and we'll make sure to bring it up in a future episode. So what do you guys want to start on? You want to start on the Marvel stuff? You want to start on the Star Wars stuff? No feedback. This is the one-man comic book podcast show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you wanted to talk about the Star Wars stuff. I've had
Star Wars is owned by Disney, and Marvel writes the comics for them. And we even gave away a Star Wars comic two episodes ago.
That's true.
So
there's a lot of both of them.
Yeah, there's a ton. I think let's start with Star Wars and just hit the bullet points.
Yep.
So unless you've been under a rock or watching the DC CW verse, the Arrowverse,
I'm in that tweet.
Right.
I don't like it.
You should be aware of the hits continuous series that is The Mandalorian, and because of that success, Disney is all in on Disney Plus Star Wars shows. So just so I don't misspeak, I know there's an Ahsoka show coming on. Spoilers if you haven't seen that. Ahsoka Tano from the animated series has made it into live action. Rosario Dawson's going to be playing her. I'm super excited for that. What else is on that list right there? I'm drawing a blank.
Do you want me to just go through it?
Yeah, just go through it and we'll just kind of...
And just interrupt me whenever you have a thought. Mm-hmm. Star Wars Andor, Star Wars
Cassian
Obi-Wan
Andor,
Kenobi.
yeah.
Sorry, what was
I was going to say about Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
Yeah, that's the first one. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, big time. Excited for that.
The Acolyte.
I don't know enough about that one.
I don't either.
I haven't.
A show that will be about the shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers and the final days of the High Republic era. Sounds a little...
old school.
Yeah.
Old school. That's exciting.
Cool.
Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
That's going to be animated, talking about the clones from the same group.
Yeah. Ashoka.
Uh-huh.
Or Ahsoka, sorry.
It's fine.
Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic.
Right. That is going to be Patty Jenkins, correct?
Doesn't say on here, but you're probably right.
I think that's the one she got tapped to do. For those that don't know, Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman, both the films, and just as of a couple of days ago, got tapped and is confirmed to do Wonder Woman 3. They're bringing back the whole crew. So she's definitely getting a lot of cool stuff right now. Is that the one she's doing?
I still haven't found it.
Oh, that's fine. Let's back up. What was Andor?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen Rogue One time. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It's good.
Have you seen it more than that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me about what you think's going on in Andor. Is that a prequel? Because doesn't he die?
I feel like he does.
Sorry,
I can't remember.
Big fat spoiler alert for everything that exists.
Yes.
Going forward.
I had to ask my brother, but I don't remember what he said. I'm 99% sure he died because everybody did.
Right.
But it's possible he was off-world. I'm assuming it's prequel. Once again,
because it's the same actor.
We are not experts.
Oh, definitely not. I'm not on Star Wars at all.
But yeah, it's the same actor.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure he died. But it's possible he was, like I said, off-world.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Cool. I'm excited to see that one. And then also, just to backpedal again while he's looking it up, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor is coming back, and Disney confirmed that Hayden Christensen is coming back to play Darth Vader, which we were talking about this while we were setting up about the popularity or lack thereof, depending on your viewpoint, of the prequels for Star Wars. And I personally did not hate them as much as a lot of people did. And I think that's slowly starting to mend itself a little bit. Tori brought this up. they're being more forgiven, and I think also just the fact that they're being kind of like referenced in the newer material and tied into. And suddenly, it feels like a part of a greater whole.
I feel like my watching of the Clone Wars animated series made me appreciate the prequels a whole lot more.
Yeah,
because there's so much more life.
It's become more rich.
Yeah.
It's very good. The only thing that I don't like about the prequels is whenever it does like these weird pastiches of Americana, like a 50s diner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is that doing there?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is weird. Like, they feel like they got to reference something that really has no business being there. Here's something to spin off to a bullet point that doesn't belong here. Why, and maybe this will be the first time we ever get yelled at on Twitter in the comments, why is everyone so ticked off about midichlorians?
I don't know.
Existing in general.
I'm a little ticked off about that.
Why? You're allowed to be. I just never, like, I heard people were like, God, midichlorians, what's...
I remember reading about that before the prequels ever came out.
See, I never read about it, but that apparently that was the
like
wrong definition for the Force, or how the Force...
It's more justified now, especially with the Mandalorian,
Right.
like how they needed the midichlorians from
Grogu.
Grogu
Yeah.
to. So I feel like I think the problem was it was such a throwaway thing just to be like, oh yeah, they had a high midichlorian count, that beforehand it was something that was just like a supernatural force.
Right.
That took faith and believing and
I do agree. It's definitely like almost like a science religion contrast thing,
right,
in a fantasy world. Yeah, I was never a person that was. I always was very confused about why. I remember always reading, midichlorians, they took our gerbs. Yeah, and I just never got it. But I can see that. I mean, you're never going to make everyone happy, I suppose. But very excited to see, as we trail back into this conversation, potential face-off of, when you're watching episode 4 or the first movie that ever came out, and you see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fighting, you never think like, oh, they met, between episode 3 and episode 4 a bunch. Like, who knows if there's going to be like a long-standing, a Kang and a Doom scenario where they keep popping in and out of each other's lives and fight several more times.
What world am I on?
Right. So, very excited to see that. Glad to see Hayden's going to get another shot at an iconic character, and maybe for some fans, he's not having to do this for me, but redeem himself. It's going to be cool. The fight scene at the end of episode 3 is one of my top fight scenes ever for a Star Wars film. Like, it's just awesome. So we'll see. Maybe Darth Vader will get the high ground for once. We know Obi-Wan's not going to die. That's for sure. Yeah.
Patty Jenkins has supposedly, as of 12 hours ago, reported that she wants Chris Pine and Gal Gadot to be in her Rogue Squadron.
Wow. That'll be something.
Who knows
Especially
if
Chris
that'll
Pine.
actually happen? But
I mean, I feel like if the director really wants it,
if she got Chris Pine, then he's got all the nerd capitalization.
right? I was about to say,
Yeah.
you're in DC, Star Trek, and Star Wars. Enjoy your money, sir. That's awesome. What else is on the Star Wars list? I know there's a few more things.
So we've got the Book of Boba Fett, which was announced at the end of the Mandalorian.
I cheered. I was just like, no, what?
Yeah, and that's bringing back the guy that played him in the series and also played all the clones.
Yeah.
And then Ming-Na Wen, who I forget her character's name in. I'm so bad with character names like this. She's also been in The Mandalorian. She's going to be a series regular, I believe, in the Boba Fett. That one's going to be cool, too. I think a lot of the diehard, like your brother, I feel like is going to be all over that. Maybe more so than Mandalorian.
We've got what I'm excited about, Star Wars Lando.
Yes. And we still don't know if Donald Glover's coming back for this, do we?
That's the reason I'm excited for it. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's coming back for it or not.
You know they're trying. There's no way they're not like, okay, the extremely popular Donald Glover. Let us give you money to be awesome. Yeah, I think that one has potential to be truly incredible. Especially, I feel like Donald Glover's a person that not only do you want involved, but you want involved on the creative team in some capacity.
Yeah.
He's that good. If we get, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Any sort of storytelling flavor, and I'll let you decide how to interpret that, but of Atlanta into Lando, like that will be cool. You know, just you can always feel, in my opinion, the presence of Donald Glover as a storyteller, like the same way you can feel when Taika Waititi's involved in a project.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, go ahead.
Star Wars Visions. This one is also interesting. It's a series of short movies made by the best anime creators of Japan.
That's right. Okay, for a second I was like, what is that?
Kind of reminds me of the Animatrix.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So if you didn't know, there was a thing that Tori just said, the Animatrix, and it was literally the Matrix, but in an anime format, and it was really cool. I think I own those. I need to watch them again.
They're really good.
But yeah, they're just taking some great storytellers in the anime genre, and they're going to put them and give them all the Star Wars toys to play with. So I imagine anime lightsaber duels are probably pretty sweet.
Then we have what I assume must be a kid's show. Well, I guess we'll find out. Star Wars: A Droid Story, which is an animated series that will focus on a new droid mentored by R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Like, Disney does such a good job of pandering to the 30 and 40-year-old kids that they also got to remember to make some stuff for the actual children.
Is it true that originally George Lucas's vision was for the entirety of Star Wars to be told like from the point of view of the droids?
I don't know, but it sounds.
I have no idea.
I feel like I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that was quickly abandoned, but you know, it just. I mean, the droids.
I feel like
are
something like
always
that
there.
would hit really hard now. Like having a different perspective that you didn't know you were going to get that will fill in any plot holes you missed before.
Like from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
The short stories.
Right.
Collection. I never read the one for Empire. I only read the short stories for A New Hope.
Right.
So here's from Metro.uk. R2-D2 was, according to George Lucas, the most significant character of the Star Wars saga, and the storyline is told from an asymmetric perspective from him.
Cool.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Maybe one day they'll do that. I mean, why not? I guess that would be very doable on their end, I think. Well, maybe. Are there any other stories on there?
That's all the Star Wars stories, anyway.
They announced with little detail the next big Star Wars film is coming, and it is going to be directed by Taika Waititi, which, of course, it is. Why would you not? You know, that guy is at the top of my list for directors right now. He's so good, and just anything he does, I want to watch it.
Have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
I love that.
I've started it, and then I was too tired to keep going. I was
The
like,
TV show or the movie?
the movie.
Oh, man. They're both so good.
Yeah, I don't even know if I knew there was a show.
Yeah, I didn't even realize what it was. I started watching it because it's funny. All of the ad material I ever saw for it made me think it was completely different, and I was just like, okay, well, let's check it out. And then as soon as it started, I was like, oh man, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so good. I also am secretly hoping that he gets handed the keys to the next major Avengers film. I mean, he's already killing it with the Thor stuff, and you know,
I think they're learning, or at least Marvel learned, that handing it to comedians is a really good idea, or letting comedians play a role in it in a way.
Yeah. I've always been impressed with Marvel, especially I think they started this in the MCU and it's starting to branch out to just their projects in general, Disney rather, letting just good storytellers tell the story, you know. To go to the Russo brothers, whose big thing at the time was Community, basically, right? I mean, what else had they done at that point? I'm not sure. But they were telling such fun stories with this hit show that was very quirky and had some great character development, that they're like, okay, let's let these two good storytellers talk about Marvel. They like the content and they're going to go in and do a great job. And now they're like, can you imagine a world where MCU doesn't have the Russo brothers like taking the mantle on like the key bullet points and connecting lines for everything?
I didn't realize they did Yumi and Dupree.
Yeah, I had no idea. But if you look at their list of films and you erase all the Marvel stuff, you're like, what? These guys are doing the Marvel films?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing for Taika Waititi. I mean, and all these other characters. They're becoming much more inclusive, which is awesome. And they're not just looking at the genre that they're in. They're like, who can tell a story? We want you to be here to represent in a variety of ways. So super excited for that. And I imagine if you've seen the last episode, which I believe is episode 8 of season 1 of The Mandalorian, that was directed by Taika Waititi. To refresh your memory, it's the one where Baby Yoda's getting punched while he's in that bag. And then they make the nice little reference to how bad stormtroopers are at shooting, just their aim. That was a Taika episode, and you could tell.
Yeah.
So super awesome. That's all the Star Wars stuff. Obviously, I don't even know if you can say that we grazed the top. There's a lot more that we could discuss there. If you want to hear a full episode dedicated to that, let us know and we'll do it. But as you know, we tend to lean towards the deep lore comic stuff more, and they announced a ton of stuff for Marvel specifically coming out, both Disney Plus and the films. Referenced some stuff that's already been announced and we've known's in the pipeline, and gave us a little more to kind of whet our palate, an appetizer, if you will.
What?
Whet our palate. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with what's coming out next. So WandaVision is coming out in like 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Friday, we'll be able to watch episode 1 of WandaVision.
Huzzah!
And what's that going to be on?
Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're absolutely going to cover that. I think we're going to do an episode literally on episode 1, just react, go. We want to get out and talk about that with you guys because it's such an awesome event. And also, we've been deprived of any new MCU content for over a year now. I think actually a year and a half was Spider-Man Far From Home last, like a year from this summer ago. I think was the last thing. Like, I want to say early July.
Like I said, time is an illusion.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm so excited for this show, maybe more than any other thing that's announced, and that's a pretty tall order. But it's going to be so different than everything that we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far that I don't even know if I'm able to be excited enough. It's just going to be different and weird and good and quirky and just different. I don't know. I'm ready for it. I love the characters of the Scarlet Witch and Vision. I love those actors. Paul Bettany's incredible. The extra cast that's going to be in the show are really cool and I think going to fit the bill. Have you seen the trailers for them yet?
I don't remember.
They're like some teaser stuff, and then they're like some legitimate trailers where it's just weird, man. It's like they're playing off of the title WandaVision, absolutely, but they're doing like almost a look at sitcoms is how they're going to kind of frame the story through. Like it's going to be some Everybody Loves Lucy or I Love Lucy, whatever it is. I've heard they're going to be doing like Jim staring at the camera from The Office reference stuff. Just
nice.
TV tropes from over the years, but using that as a device to tell a Marvel story. And we all know that in the MCU right now, the Vision's dead. He was sacrificed for the end of Infinity War, and he did not come back after the snap. So he's in this show. This, to my knowledge, doesn't take place in the past. Well, I don't know. I think time's going to be messed with. They're hitting all these different eras. Wanda can manipulate reality, essentially. Who knows? There's so much potential stuff that can happen. I don't even know how to speculate properly for it. What are your guys' thoughts on that show?
It took me several times talking about it before I realized that WandaVision was both of their names. I was just like, WandaVision, like television,
Yeah.
like color vision or whatever. Yeah, so that's
Right. The play on words
That's my only
is quite
thought.
clever. Yeah. Having read some of Tom King's Vision
yeah.
run,
I'm curious about how that's gonna.
I think, Tori, you
Work
said
out.
you finished that, right?
Yes.
You went ahead. Yeah, cool. I reread the whole thing recently too, and I think stylistically it's going to be very similar. Like they're going to hit hard on the suburban family tropes. There's also 2 babies in the trailers,
Oh,
and
I don't know if I ever noticed that.
I don't know if that's going to be playing off of Viv and Vin, which, I mean, again, we have to remember that the MCU definitely takes liberties. They're not going to be a one-for-one recreation of the Vision run that Tom King does, but they also have Wiccan and Speed in the comics are Vision and Wanda's children. So who knows if we're going to be getting those characters, and that's one of the ways that we're introduced to mutants. There's just so much that could possibly happen. If we wanted to and let it, we could spend the rest of the episode talking about just this show. But we won't. We'll jump ahead to the next thing. What's on your list, Tori?
All right. So next we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so this is another one we all knew was coming. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm more excited after having read a little bit of Sam Wilson, Captain America, especially whenever we were thinking, God, this could have been written yesterday,
Yeah,
because it was right in the thick of, we read it pretty soon after the George Floyd thing
Yeah.
happened, and I'm like, I can't imagine them not using that episode or that issue that we read as fuel for something, and then but using modern day events.
yeah. Regardless of your political stance and just your thoughts on race relations in America, there's no way around. I will consider it a huge swing and a miss if they do not touch on some of those topics, as they should. That's not something you should tiptoe around. But it's going to probably be some very heavy content, but I'm here for it. I think, in a way, Marvel has the ability and the responsibility to educate a lot of people on some very important things. And again, I could go off on a huge tangent on this as well, but representation matters in all forms of media, and we're going to get to see a black man as Captain America as a symbol for hope for the country. And I think that's really important, especially in a time where our country's so divided right now. So can't wait for that one. I think it's going to be a lot of action. Really excited to see Baron Zemo again from Civil War actually put on the purple mask and see what else he does when he's not just playing mind games with the Avengers. Cool. What do we got next, Tor?
Loki. It's going to be just 6 episodes. With
Okay.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. This one, the trailer has created quite a bit of speculation. I think generated even more hype. So we saw the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, which is essentially the Marvel Universe's time cops. They're making sure nobody's abusing the timeline. Very cool that Owen Wilson's going to be in that. I think he's the perfect person for that. I hope we get a wow. We have to get an Owen Wilson wow. Just whenever, maybe they're reviewing Loki's past, and he's like, wow. We should all do our best Owen Wilson wow and put that as the
wild.
I
tag.
refuse.
Wow.
Yeah. That was going to be cool. There's also, I shared this in the group text for 2 Man that we have, and we're all discussing what we're going to read next. There's a screenshot. I think I shared this with you guys. I'm going to feel bad if I didn't. Maybe I shared it with my other friends. There's a screenshot that looks like, this is a wide shot far and away, but it looks like in some dark, eerie space, Black Widow is sitting facing away from the camera.
No,
And it's like,
I don't think
there
you
it
shared
is.
that with
There
us.
it is. It's gone.
I guess you're not really our friends.
Yeah, I don't really like you guys. I don't know if that's what it is. Nobody has any way to prove who it is, but it's definitely been stopped. They've grabbed the frame, and it's like, well, that's somebody that looks like that could be who it is. But also, we're dealing with time travel in that for sure. I've heard that they're going to be basically sending Loki back to significant moments in time and basically just seeing how I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what they're doing, but I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we got next?
This next one is one that I do not think is going to last very long. I don't think it'll last past the first season. That's my prediction. You guys can hold me to it.
I will.
Which is Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner doing a series about Hawkeye.
Yeah, I wonder. Now, I do know the comic series they're basing it off of is incredible, and I believe Eisner winning. Matt Fraction's run on Hawkeye. We will
Nice.
absolutely cover that on this show at some point. I've already have that on a short list of stuff that we'll do probably this coming year. It's so good stylistically. The storytelling's great, and it's cool to see like the man will get passed, and also to, again, representation matters, get a woman in there who you're all going to quickly find out, this isn't really a spoiler, she's just flat out better than he is. Like there's two Hawkeyes, the girl's better, and it just works out. And I think that's another thing that's really cool, that our fans will learn to see that it's not just the dudes that can shoot with an arrow and make some cool stuff happen. Yeah, I know Jeremy Renner has been in the spotlight for reasons that maybe he's not excited about recently, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I think Marvel has gained everybody's trust so much that they're like, yeah, let's do Hawkeye because
I'll
can.
give it a try.
Yeah.
I'm not going into it thinking that.
Do you like Haley Steinfeld?
I do.
Yeah. Have you seen Dickinson?
No,
I've
that's
watched
on Apple TV.
Yeah,
right?
I've watched a few episodes. They're good.
I haven't watched it, and I love Emily Dickinson.
Yeah, we need to watch that. It's really good. We're running short on time. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump back and wrap up the next section. Be right back. And we're back. We're going to try to finish this up in the next, hopefully no more than 30 minutes, because we're trying to keep this within the confines of our usual episode length, but there's a lot to cover. What's next on the list? We just finished Hawkeye.
Next is Ms. Marvel.
Okay, so if you're familiar with the history of this show, we did a long stretch on the origin story of Miss Marvel. The newest iteration, I should say, of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. So the first Pakistani American superhero, super awesome. Again, representation all day. They tapped a new actress, Iman Vellani, who, from what I hear, is very much like the character from the source material. So it's going to be super awesome. Not only is she tapped to do her own Miss Marvel Disney Plus series, but she's confirmed to be in Captain Marvel 2. And I think they're going to maybe do a Spider-Man, Iron Man relationship mirrored with what they're like in the comics.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome. She's a really cool character. I'm very curious. Are we going to see Inhumans?
I was just thinking the same thing. Though, I mean, with the series, unless you actually knew what was going on, you didn't really know Inhumans entered the picture for a couple issues at least, enough to facilitate a movie.
They reference the Terrigen Mists.
Yeah.
Maybe
they could do that so that everybody in the know knows, but...
Yeah, there's also been... I'm very curious if they're going to keep hanging on this hat. So, again, the MCU is a universe within the Marvel continuity. It has its own number and everything. In the MCU, the Infinity Stones have been responsible for handing out lots of powers and abilities. So maybe when something happened with the snap, some people came back with gifts or something. I don't know.
I'll allow it.
I also really like some of the Inhumans. Like, when are we going to get Black Bolt and Medusa and Lockjaw?
The Lockjaw.
The dog, yeah. There are so many. Karnak, he's an awesome superhero. Inhuman, rather. So she's an Inhuman. That is not to be confused with the mutants, although when I will admit, when I first started reading about Inhumans, I was like, why are these different than mutants? Yeah. The main difference is mutants are born with the gene, and I guess technically Inhumans are, but their genes were put there thousands of years ago by Kree, I think, that experimented on humans, or like cavemen, and then just their descendants all had Inhuman DNA, and it is activated differently than how mutants are, just kind of by a puberty thing. So there's actually a really cool story of Inhumans versus mutants that we might cover one day. That's another major event, but super excited for that one. Again, just cool characters coming down the pipeline. What else on that list, Tori?
Next, one that I'm excited for because I don't know much about it, but what I've heard is pretty cool is Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you aren't aware, Oscar Isaac, who played Poe Dameron, was tapped to play Moon Knight. So the quick and dirty way to describe Moon Knight, and doesn't do him justice, but it's also just like that. We got to move on. He's like a version of Marvel's Batman, but with a split personality that is affected by the moon, and also has something to do with ancient Egyptian gods and things like that.
Sounds
So
exactly like Batman.
yeah, but
I'm just kidding.
but you know what I mean, like
I
that
know.
type of character as far as like masked crusader going around at night and doing things, which sounds like all superheroes when you really think about it. But they have tapped an Egyptian director for that, so really proud to see that they're going to somebody who might know more about the source material. What's next?
She-Hulk with Tatiana Maslany.
Yes, if you don't recognize that name, the most notable thing is Black Mirror. Or not Black Mirror.
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, yes, sorry.
I still haven't watched that.
Very good. She's very talented.
I watched a little bit. I've heard she's fantastic. I won't lie, I was crossing my fingers for Allison Brie to get tapped to She-Hulk, but I'm fine with, again, Marvel has my full trust. They do whatever you want. Super awesome character. She-Hulk, her name is Jennifer Walters.
I was going to say Waller,
No,
but that was a band.
confirm She-Hulk's name for me. I'm embarrassed that I don't know. I do know, but it's one of those things that the camera's on me and I can't remember.
Do you know her middle name?
No.
It's Jennifer Susan Walters.
You got it right.
Got Jennifer Walters. Yeah, didn't know the middle. She's the cousin of Bruce Banner. She is a lawyer, and she has similar powers to the Hulk, hence the name, but she doesn't turn as like massive as he does. It'd be more like a average size woman turning into Shaquille O'Neal.
An NBA star.
Like, yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal's a monster. So
Well, I mean, she gets pretty big, but not like the Hulk big. He's just like inhuman.
Not to be confused with Inhuman.
With an actual inhuman, yeah. That's why I tried to say unhuman, then I just realized that I sounded illiterate.
Not to be confused with illiterate.
Yes.
I'm trying to help here.
Yeah, good job. That one's going to be really cool. I've read the first, 5 or 6 issues, maybe more, of the Dan Slott run of She-Hulk. That was very good. I think they will absolutely take some of that as source material. It's, I think, far and away the most popular run. She's also a very prominent character in Civil War II. But there's also speculation that between her being confirmed to come into the MCU and the heavy, maybe true rumors of Charlie Cox Daredevil coming in, that we're going to see some courtroom action with the Spider-Man stuff that
Law
happened
and
in Far
Order,
From Home.
MCU.
Okay, let's talk about that as a show.
Yeah.
Imagine
10 out of 10 would watch.
what a brilliant name, Law and Order MCU.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me with that? Don't tell people. You need to call Disney, you shareholder. That is a brilliant Law and Order MCU.
Well, I mean, we were talking about how different genres within the universe would be cool. A procedural within the MCU would be so
I want
cool.
Dick Wolf to be the showrunner.
Yeah, the guy that does SVU.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so here for that. Marvel, if you are listening, I know Kevin Feige listens to this podcast.
Liar.
Kevin, just give us a call. We'll have you on. We'll see if we can fit you in.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea. Law and Order MCU. We get Jennifer Walters, Charlie Cox, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, not actually Charlie Cox. We can somehow fit Howard the Duck in there. I feel like that's got to work. And then we're just doing court cases with C and D tier Marvel villains.
Yeah.
And occasionally there'll be a big case where the Kingpin comes in or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
And the entire jury gets murdered.
I'm taking credit, but it's really his idea. The name is...
I said Law and Order MCU edition. So you
You sparked the idea.
I lay it out for you to play it out.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it. That is brilliant. I'm just going to talk. This is my show. This is our show. That is up there with the name. So Law and Order MCU is brilliant, as almost as the podcast that we discussed about Schitt's Creek called Talking Shit.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. A good name can take you a long way.
I've got to gurgle it
Yeah,
real quick.
because that is a podcast, right?
What?
The Talking Shit.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, that's for sure a podcast. Man, Law and Order MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to just do an episode to speculate about what that would be like.
mean,
Who owns Law and Order? Is that CBS?
Probably.
I mean, there's some people have put those words together in order.
Oh, I'm sure. People more brilliant than us on the internet.
Mainly Pinterest
Okay.
and Instagram. There was a Law and Order MCU Instagram, and it's a guy who's running. I
So he just thought of the clever name and then didn't follow up with anything cool with it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Is he a writer?
It looks like he just. I don't know what he is.
Anyway, that could be really cool. We spent way more time talking about that than anything else on this podcast because it's brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to be dreaming about that tonight. What's next on the list?
Marvel.
Oddly enough, it's Law and Order MCU.
Yeah, I wish.
Marvel What If?
Okay, this is going to be really cool. So this is an animated series
Yes.
that is following the comics by the same name, which there are. I just received actually a trade paperback. Sarah got me one when she went to Universal.
Nice.
Called What If, or no, maybe that wasn't a What If. I don't know. There's a series of What If comics that all are exactly what they sound like. What if Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe? What if?
Isn't that a comic run?
Yeah, I read it as one of the early ones that I bought when I started actually collecting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that one's really good. But they're basically doing exactly what it sounds like. So I know that we've seen what if T'Challa, Black Panther, was Star-Lord? What if he's the one that got picked up instead of Peter Quill?
That's so cool.
What if Sharon Carter got the super soldier serum and Steve got nothing? You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I think she becomes Captain Britain. There's what if the Marvel universe were zombies. There's you could look them up. There's a bunch of them, but those are gonna be really cool. And another nice touch is they're bringing back in many of the actors who have played the characters in the MCU to do the voice acting for it. So that's gonna be really cool. What's next?
Secret Invasion.
Did we talk about this in last
Little
episode?
bit, I think so.
Yeah,
Or a
so-
couple back.
Yeah, we touched about. Okay, yeah, Nick asked the question in the last episode about what we thought was coming next. So we did touch on this. Secret Invasion event is obviously a major Marvel character event with
Major Marvel character of it.
yes. Nick Fury is coming back in that one. Talos from the Skrulls, and then that one, just because we speculated on it a little bit, I think is going to be one of those that ties into the movies, maybe more so than the other ones do. Although I have nothing to base that off of, just pure speculation. So, what's next?
After that, we've got Ironheart.
Ironheart. This one, I've read the first 12-ish issues of. This is Riri Williams, who is a 15-year-old MIT student who creates the most advanced suit of armor that has not been created by Iron Man using scrap parts, and obviously gets a lot of attention. She's a genius, and this is after Tony is dead, so this makes sense that they would bring her in now. And this is the smartest way, in my opinion, that if they want to bring Tony back into the MCU, they can, because in that series, Tony Stark is her AI. So it's a perfect way to allow the ramifications of Endgame to stay in place, because of course Tony Stark would think ahead enough to upload his consciousness for, in his his big-headed unhumble manners, knows the world might need him for something else. But super excited about that one. It's another one where we get a black character that we still have gotten, but we need more of. So I'm here for that. It's going to be awesome. I think she's also going to be in another series that Tori might be about to mention. I'm not sure. What's next?
This might be the series you're talking about, Armor Wars.
That is it. So that one follows a comic book by the same name where some of Tony's tech gets in the wrong hands, and I think she's rumored or maybe even confirmed to be in that. Rhodey's going to be in that one. So super excited about that.
After we mentioned Law and Order MCU, I keep picturing all of these as remakes of other shows, and I'm picturing Armor Wars being Storage Wars, like maybe 20 or 30 years in the future, where everybody's like commercial grade or residential grade armor suits that they get to buy at the Five and Dime. You know, they're just packed inside storage units.
Yeah.
And then everybody, you're auctioning, buying them. Maybe it's bad guys, like supervillains are going and bidding on these storage units in hopes of getting Iron Man suits.
Maybe there's an actual suit in there. I would totally watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So that was going to be cool. Again, because the camera's on, I can't think of anybody's name. Who plays Rhodey?
Oh, I'll look it up.
I know this.
So do I. I talk about it all the time.
He also played Miles Davis.
Yep.
Oh.
Rhodey in the MCU because I'm an idiot. He also.
That was a gross sound, by the way.
Yeah.
That I just
Sure, it
made.
sounded really awesome on the mic, though.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, just like.
For everybody that's screaming at us right now, this is a real thing. When the camera and the mics get turned on, you start going blank. You forget things. We need teleprompters to script this whole show.
Yeah.
Who plays Rhodey?
Well, he was played by two different people.
Not
right?
Terrence Howard. Or Terrence, Terrence Howard, but the next guy.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, yes. Duh. Like the most, it's not like Don Cheadle's a forgettable actor at all.
No.
Neither is James Spader.
James Spader, yeah,
James
right.
Spader.
Two incredible actors. So I'm an idiot and I'm sorry. He's going to star in Armor Wars, and that makes a lot of sense because he's still around, and maybe that'll deal with some of the fallout of he was Tony's best friend, So we'll deal with some of that as well. What is next?
This is maybe my favorite one of the list. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yes. Okay. So there's no way this isn't going to be awesome.
Going to be filmed concurrently with the other movie.
That's
I can't
right.
believe we have to wait 2 years for this. Though.
Right, and they announced it this early on. So James Gunn and crew are going to record a Christmas special concurrently with the third Guardians film, there's no way it won't be awesome.
I really hope it's exactly the same quality and attention as the Star Wars holiday special,
Right.
because I watched that last year and it is a work of art.
Yeah.
Did you watch that with the original 70s commercials?
Yes, I did.
That's the best way to watch it.
Yeah.
I am ashamed to say I've never seen it.
Oh
You
my
should
gosh.
probably keep it that
we
way,
should
but-
do a watch party.
Yeah.
I'm down.
That'd be so much fun.
Maybe we'll live tweet from the 2-man account and react to
Yeah,
it.
be like, all right, everybody, since you're not getting your Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special this year, we're gonna come at you with a classic.
Maybe we can do one and we'll speculate how they could transition, just do the Guardians version. Yeah, you're right. This is going to be awesome. James Gunn is the perfect type of person to write something and direct something like this. Chris Pratt and the camera's on and rolling. There you go. It's going to work. I think enough said on that one. It's going to be hilarious. What are you laughing about?
What we were talking about with Chris Pratt before we started rolling.
You should keep. It's like a marker.
Yeah.
What's next?
Last one on my list, anyway, unless there is something that was
I think you have all the
did not
shows
make
at
it to
least.
this list was I Am Groot, which is an animated series.
Yes, I think these are going to be like if Pixar shorts were all about Baby Groot. I don't know that for sure.
That seems like it'd be for kids.
Yeah, I think this is another one where they're like, let's make sure that we're still making kid stuff that also 40-year-old men will continue to watch. Which if that was their goal, then it worked because I'm going to watch it all. Yeah, I think those are going to be a bunch of cool shorts. He'll probably interact with a bunch of small world Marvel villains and imagine the scene where it's like push this button, not this button, but like times a whole season of Baby Groot doing that.
Yeah, I'll watch.
And I'm here to watch. Maybe they'll do some sweet dancing to some ELO tracks.
Jink, 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 jink.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. In addition to that, I think that's all the shows.
Yes.
The movies coming out. So we know the Eternals are coming out. We know that Black Widow was supposed to come out, so they touched on that. I don't know as much about the Eternals compared to my other Marvel knowledge, so I'm not even going to speculate. That's another one that I'm just going to watch and
I read
let
it,
Kevin
and
Feige tell me.
I still have no idea.
There's not that many comics.
No, there's not.
Which is I think another reason. Like there were at least I think a good amount of Guardians comics.
Yeah.
There are not a ton of Eternals comics, and it's definitely going to get way more cosmic and deal with like deities almost. I think in the Marvel universe. So that could be also though how they're going to explain mutants and Inhumans. I don't know. We'll see. There's a star-studded cast for that. This next one I realized, or at least I think I was saying it wrong, and how Kevin Feige said it sounded way cooler than what I was saying. We are getting, and this was already confirmed, but they touched on it even more, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I was saying Shang-Chi like a really white person. It's going to be awesome. He's a really cool Marvel hero in that he has no powers at all, but he's the best fighter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the Marvel Universe, not just the films.
Has he ever met Taskmaster?
I don't know.
That'd be an interesting fight.
It would be, because he's supposed to be able to match him. Maybe, excuse me, maybe Shang-Chi would just beat him so fast he wouldn't have time to analyze his pattern and do it. I don't know. Maybe. He's an incredible character, but also the fact that we're getting the 10 rings. For those that also agree with me that Iron Man 3 is the quintessential Christmas film, the 10 rings are referenced in that, and also part of the Mandarin. Like they all kind of link into that. And then same thing for Iron Man 1. They kind of in this link the 10 rings to being involved to that thing too. So we haven't really seen all of them in their glory. There's also some Daredevil links to the 10 rings. So we'll see how that all gets rolled in. That one's gonna be really cool. Again, we're diversifying more and more with all these films. So Thor: Love and Thunder, we've already confirmed.
Super excited for that.
Jane Foster is coming to be Thor. I really hope they follow the cancer story from the comics that she was introduced in. That's an awesome one. Also, in that series, I believe there's some love fling stuff with Sam Wilson and Thor as he's Captain America. So maybe they'll play off that. Chris Pratt has also been confirmed for that. So we're going to get some Guardians crossover. There has been a comic recently, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. Maybe they'll lean off of that a little bit. I'm not sure. Another Taika Waititi film. That one's going to be awesome. Just great. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
That's all I had on my list, but I might have an incomplete list.
That's fine. We know for sure Spider-Man 3 is going to be... Oh, we are forgetting something. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's confirmed to have Wanda in it. I think that WandaVision is going to set up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think whatever's going on with Wanda is not going to be resolved until that film.
I wonder if she's going to be somehow linked to her and Vision in different multiverses.
Right.
That's how it ends up being wrapped up.
Yeah, I think that's how they're doing stuff. Because, I mean, this is beyond spoilers at this point, but they're bringing, like, all this connected so that they can set up this monster Spider-Man film that is bringing in the old Spider-Man actors, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So we're doing a Spider-Verse. And that works if you do take time to develop Wanda and all her reality manipulating and Doctor Strange going to all these different multiverses. Like suddenly maybe there's like this tear and we get all these great characters. So they're bringing back Doc Ock. Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro. There's rumors that Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane are coming in. Not the MJ that we currently have, but Kirsten Dunst's MJ. I hope... that's the one I'm most nervous about. Of like Marvel's had such a high batting average of somehow introducing all these characters work very gracefully. That sounds like a lot. Although maybe they're just banking off the same thing that's made them successful. So we've already seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. We know who the character is. They don't have to introduce him, just remember. So that one's going to be awesome. Did you find anything else that we missed?
No, I didn't.
I think we've hit most of the highlights. If not, and you care enough, you'll yell at us in the comments below or on Twitter. Yeah, I feel like I just exhaled for the first time in 30 minutes. It's a lot, and I feel like we didn't really cover in depth anything except for Law and Order MCU,
Yeah.
which I'm really excited about now,
Yeah.
and didn't know that I needed it so badly.
And Armor Wars,
Yeah,
the History Channel version.
right. Yeah. Oh, I would watch both of those shows so hard. Cool. You guys got anything else? This was a kind of a long one. I think we went about 15 minutes longer than we normally go.
I think we thought it was going to be a shorter one, right?
Yeah, this was like, oh, we're not reading anything. Let's just talk about it. And then here we are. And in perfect time, the lights just came on, so that means Katie's home. Drew, where can they find you on social media?
I am at Drew Morris Comp on Twitter, Drew Morris Composer elsewhere. How about you?
You can find me at Alex Wayne Miller. Wayne is Wayne, just like Bruce Wayne, because I am Batman. Tori, what about you?
Torrance Watkins on Twitter, at Torrance Watkins. Don't follow me.
That's an order.
Until next episode.
And you can find us as a group, Two-Man Comic Book with the number 2 on Twitter, Two-Man Comic Book Club elsewhere. You can email us, twomancomicbookclub@gmail.com, or check out our website, twomancomicbookclub.blogspot.com.
Yep.
Please leave a review, rating, like us, subscribe us, all that stuff.
Yep. Tweet at us. Let us know what your comic New Year's resolution is. And until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.